Hi everyone. Well, it's time for a new year of Mixed Media Morsels. I was really thrilled that so many of you expressed an interest in continuing with the series. And like I said, there's no pressure, no stress to do any of these at any particular time, just whenever it's convenient for you and whenever you want to challenge yourself. Just grab one of these videos and just enjoy creating, which is the whole point. I just want everybody to enjoy creating and making art and putting everything else aside for a little while and just playing. So what we're going to do today is something that some of you may have seen already. Last year, probably 2 or 3 months ago now, I had done some little Jello boxes to make cute little art canvas type projects, and so I thought I would do that for the first morsel this year, and just make a little piece of art out of a box, and have it be something that anyone can do, because all of us have a box laying around, and the box can be any type of box. It can be small, it can be large, whatever. Like I said before, I used 2 different sizes of Jello boxes, and today I thought I would just use this box that I got some Sharpie pens in. So look around your house and see what you can find to use as a little canvas or a bigger canvas, whatever you choose. You can use a cereal box, you know what I mean? Just have fun with it. So what I'm going to do is stuff the box. Got some newspaper here. And I'm just going to stuff the box just to give it a little bit more weight. And helps it kind of stand better because it's got it's a little heavier when it's got something inside of it. So don't want it to be bowing out and making your box fat. You want to keep it nice and flat. Okay, so the box will end up standing like this, okay? That's nice and sturdy. And I'm just going to use a little bit of Scotch tape to close the end of the box on both ends. And we'll have it all ready to cover. Okay. All right, so we got tape on our box all closed up. Now, for the paper, this time I'm going to use something else a little different. Before I had used some jelly printed paper, and so this time I'm going to use a lunch bag. Okay, this is just your typical brown lunch bag, nothing special about it. And I'm going to just cut it right down where the seam is in the bag. I'm just going to cut that straight down. And what we're looking for is to end up with a nice flat piece of paper. Oops. You can rip it if you want. Obviously that's what I did. You just want to cut off the bottom panel. I forgot lunch bags are so thin. They do tear easy, so if you don't want it torn, be careful. Okay, just cut the bottom panel out. And this doesn't have to be precise either. Just get the bottom off of it, mainly. Okay. So when you open it up, then you have a flat sheet of paper. Nice flat sheet ready to be created on. I think I'm going to trim this piece off where it was glued together just to get rid of the extra piece. 'Cause it's thicker there. Okay, now we're ready. Okay. So what I thought I would do is do a little bit of stenciling. We did stenciling in one of the morsels from last year, one of the little appetizer morsels. So today I'm going to use this stencil that is one of Tim Holtz's stencils, and this one was I think it's pretty recent, well, 2014, so it's newer than some of the other ones I have of his, but here's the name of it and the number right there, okay, called Lace. And I thought I would just use this with some white paint and just cover the page. Now I won't need all of this paper for this little box. I'll need a good portion of it, but there'll be some left over for another project. See, so while I'm at it, I'll just go ahead and stencil the whole sheet, and I'll have it for another project when I need it later. Okay, so I'm going to put this part in fast forward. This is just me taking a sponge and stenciling on a little white. So I'll fast forward that. So you want to sit through, 10 minutes of, of me pouncing a sponge. And I'll come back in just a minute and we'll continue. I intentionally kept the paint thinner so that it wouldn't take this very long to dry, but I love how that looks like lace. That is really pretty. So this is all dry, and just to make sure that I was clear about that, you can use any paper you want and any stencils and any color of paint you want. I'm not saying by any means that you need to go out and get the same stencil I have or anything like that. Just use what you have and play with it and have fun, okay? I just like the look of the craft paper, the craft colored paper, which is why I decided to use the lunch bag. And also, a lunch bag is pretty thin, like I said before, and that makes it really easy when you get ready to cover your box. A magazine page works that way too. It's nice and thin, and so just be careful. Don't try to use cardstock and then fold it around a box to wrap it, because you can do it, but it'll be difficult and it'll be thick and bulky. So that's kind of another reason why I chose this thin paper. You also get brown paper like this in shipping boxes sometimes too. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've got a couple of these little foam stamps, and like I said, you can use any stamps you want. It doesn't have to be these, but I'm going to just add some flowers, and I'm going to use a pink color and an orange color, and just stamp those, randomly all over. Just creating a painted paper here is all I'm doing. Okay, so now the page is all dry, all of the paint is dry, and so now I'm going to bring in some doodling like we did in a morsel last year, and just take some of these stamped flowers and just doodle around them and kind of help them to pop and define them a little bit more. Like that. Nothing fancy about it, just using the stamped image as a guide. You see that? Really simple. If you do, if you do doodle on your paper, try to make sure to use a pen that's a permanent pen, because when I put this around my box, I am going to use some Mod Podge or Collage Podge or something like that on the top of it, and I won't want it to smear any of the doodling. So if you're going to use some Mod Podge or something on top, make sure you have a permanent pen. And these Posca pens are permanent when they're dry. Okay. So that's a good option. They're one of my favorite paint pens to use for that reason, because they're very nice and opaque. That's a really nice white line, and it stays like that. Doesn't smear and run and go all over the place when you use Mod Podge on top of it. I think I'm going to take a yellow Posca pen and do the centers of the orange flowers, and see how I like that. It's pretty. Gives it a little pop of color. Okay. All right, so I like that. Gives it a little bit more color. And you can do all of this with, stuff like that you can do with acrylic paint. You know, dip the end of something into your acrylic paint, and you can fill in those just the same way. Okay, now I'm going to use some pink, I think some lighter pink on the inside of the other pink, the pink flowers, the other centers. It's pretty. Okay. All right, so the page is dry now, and I may want to do a little bit more as far as embellishing this page, but I'm going to wait until I cover the box and just put a little bit of embellishment on the parts that show, because I won't be using, like I said, this entire sheet. So I'm going to just turn it over, and I'm going to take my box, and I'm only going to leave a small amount on each end, about the same width as the box, maybe a little bit less. Okay, and then I'm going to cut straight down the side. It's pretty much going to go along this crease line here. Okay, so this whole piece I can use for another project. I can make washi tape out of this. This would make great washi tape because it's very thin. So it'd be a lot of fun to use. I would continue to stamp on it some more and do some more things. So that's going to be fun. This is the right width. Now let's get the how much we need to wrap around. just like wrapping a gift. That's what we're doing here. And I'm just leaving a little bit of overlap. Okay, so this will be another excess piece to use on another project. That's why it's fun to make paper, because you can use it on so many different things, you know? It's really fun. Okay, so now we're left with this, a smaller piece. So now I may go in and go ahead and put a little bit more stamping on it instead of waiting for the box. Since I do want to stamp, it'll be easier to stamp on this surface than it will be on this surface. I have a couple of different caps that I'm going to stamp some circles with, which we also did in a previous morsel. See how using all those little basic techniques you can make bigger projects just using those same things we've already learned? I love that. Okay, so I'm going to just squeeze out. This is some blue or teal metallic paint, and I'm just going to make a few circles with that, the bigger circle with the blue, and just put some here and there. Let's see. I think I'm going to make a couple of small ones also while I have this extra blue paint. I'll make a few small ones too to fit in here where the bigger circles wouldn't fit. And that kind of helps balance it out a little bit. Okay. All right, now I also want to add some black ones. I got out this little stamp with some dots in a circle that I decided I would use for the black circles, and I'm just using my StazOn ink pad, permanent ink. So I'm just going to put a few of those here and there. Just to make the page pop. Trying to keep my fingers out of the ink. Okay, I think that's pretty well covered. Put another one here. Okay, so make sure that all of your paint and ink and anything you've done on your paper is nice and dry before you get ready to attach it to your box, which is what we're going to do next. And I think I'm going to use some matte gel. I used this before, I remember, and it needed a little water added to it because this is getting really thick. So it's okay, but it's getting pretty thick. So I'm going to just put some out here to use and squirt it with a little water, I think. So I'm basically going to just cover this this page. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty thick stuff. You can use any kind of glue you want. Just be aware that, especially thin paper like this, any kind of wet glue is going to make it susceptible to tearing and stretching. Your paper will stretch a little bit, so you just want to be careful. You might want to opt to use a glue stick even. Just some things to keep in mind, that's all. This is pretty thick, and I'm just going to spread it on like so. I can see the paper is already buckling and stretching a little bit, so just be careful and be aware, whatever you decide to use. And anything that wets your paper is going to do this. All right. So there may be some wrinkling when you put it down. It's nothing to be concerned about. This is mixed media after all. All right, so I'm going to put my box on. I'm just going to go ahead and flatten down that surface that it's on. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold these up carefully. And do the same thing, press the surface where the glue is touching. I'm going to put a little bit more here. This side's got enough glue, so I'm going to just pull this up, and just remember to do it carefully so you won't tear it. These are so much fun to make. Oh my goodness. I love these little boxes. And they're so cute sitting on shelves and stuff, decorating your home or giving as a gift to a friend. It's just fun. Okay. Just want to make sure all the edges have glue on them real good so that they stay nice and flat. Okay. All right. So you can see there's a little tiny bit of wrinkling right here. It's not a big deal. But just do it carefully, slowly and carefully, and it should work out pretty well. I'm just going to put a little glue on the inside of this paper edge here. And then I'm going to fold it just like a gift. Okay, pressing that in, making sure it's nice and flat. Put a little bit more glue here so these flaps will stay down nicely. Okay. So we'll just fold one over and then fold the other one over. This one, this is where the paper bag had a little half circle indentation in it. I just want to make sure that that's laying down nice and flat so it's not very noticeable, because it doesn't get covered very well. So just want to make sure that it's not real visible. And it's not. I mean, once you put that glue under there and press it down good, and then putting the Mod Podge or whatever we're going to use over the top, it's going to make a big difference also. I'm going to cut this zigzag edge. I don't know if you can see, this bag has a little, there you go, zigzag edge. I'm going to cut that off straight so it doesn't so it's not obvious on the paper when it's glued down. Okay. Perfect. And you can use your nail or, you know, like the back of your fingernail to press it down, or a credit card to get it real nice. You want it real nice and creased so it lays nice and flat. Okay. So that's the way it should look. Nice and flat. Okay. Now we'll do the other side. I'm going to just put a little bit of the glue in here. About out of my glue here that I put out, but I think we'll do okay. I might have to add a little bit more. Let's get some of this dried stuff out of the way. We'll just get a little tiny bit more. Don't need a whole lot. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. Put the little short sides in first. Press them down nice and tight. And then add a little glue in the top area here for the flaps to get glued down to. And our box will be covered. Okay. I think I might trim that just a little tiny bit so it matches the other side. There we go. Press those seams down, creases down real good. Do it gently so your paper doesn't tear because it's wet. Okay. Need a little bit more glue under that one. There we go. Okay. So now you've got your covered box. And look how cute that is. I just love these. I think they're just so neat. And what a fun way to use our morsels, right? Other than just making a little tiny page, we can make other fun things. I love it. All right, so I'm going to close up this one and get them, oops, and get the Mod Podge out. Okay, this is just the matte Mod Podge that I'm using. And I'm just going to cover the entire surface. I'll leave one end open probably so I can set it down to let it dry, and then I'll come back and finish that part when it's when the rest of it is dry. Let's see, I'll start on the front, I guess. This is going to give it such a nice surface. It's going to be just going to have a little bit of a a little bit of a shine to it, and it'll make all these paint colors really pop. So it's going to just look awesome. We have the box all dry now with the Mod Podge coating on it. I have some ribbon, and I'm going to wrap it around and tie a bow. Now you can embellish your box any way you want to. I'm doing this one differently from the way I did before. So I'll link those videos where I made the Jello box. I will link those in the description of this video so that you can see how those were embellished. I'm looking for my little tweezers. If you've got some of those reverse tweezers, you can use that to hold your tie when you're making a bow. Okay. And just do this and get it the right size here. And then you take your tweezers out. Okay. All right, so now we have a little box tied up with a bow. And I have some words that I've printed out, and I printed these on a label, like a shipping label that's like a full sheet. Actually, it's 2 on 1 sheet. And I printed it on that so that I could just peel it off and stick it on the box and not have to glue it down. So it says, every day is a gift. I'm going to cut this apart and I'm going to place those here. Okay. Like this. Might move this over. Just deciding here which way I want it. I also have a flower, a couple of paper flowers that I'm thinking about adding in the corner. I don't know, might not need it. Maybe I'll bring this down. Put that there, that's kind of cute. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that's how we'll lay out the words. I'm just sticking a glue dot on the back of each one of the flowers so that I can stick it right here. Okay, just like that. And I've got some other little gems. I'm going to put a light pink colored one right in the center for sparkle. Okay. Yeah, I love that. That's cute. I'm just lifting up the edges of the petals to give it a little bit of dimension. Look how cute. And this is really, really cute to sit on a shelf and decorate your art room or any place, really. Makes a really sweet gift. And yeah, I hope you guys have fun making yours. I just love it. All right, so I'll be looking forward to seeing your little creations in the Facebook group. There will be a link to the Mixed Media Morsels Facebook group in the description box. And we will see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.